Obviously hybrid events have really evolved and come into their own in the past 2 years out of necessity, but there's a lot of question around, are they sustainable, will they always exist? And I think there's absolutely going to be a role for hybrid events moving into the future. I don't think you're ever going to have an audience that's 100% keen to attend in person or 100% keen to attend virtually. And also people's habits have changed. People are much less committal. We're seeing a huge amount of conversions for event attendance in person coming later and later and later. And even people that expect to attend in person, then might change plans because of whatever reason, to then attend virtually instead. So this is something that I can't see going away. I think this is a habit change which will exist going into the future. Although obviously it goes without saying this is different for different audiences. However, I wouldn't write out hybrid events completely across the board. We've seen huge efficiencies by splitting the messaging and speaking to an audience which we expect to attend in person, with in-person creative, in-person copy and overarching messaging, and exactly the same for an audience which we've identified are more likely to attend virtually with virtual messaging, etc. And we can run this by doing A/B testing up front to identify those audiences, the different habits, etc. And we find by splitting these out, rather than running generic messaging across both audiences, splitting it out is much more efficient, and it drives pound for pound more conversions and better performance for the overall campaign, rather than trying to do a one size fit all. Because ultimately, although this audience was one audience 3 years ago, now that isn't the case. This audience has split, and there are different habits and different user journeys that we now need to take into consideration when talking to these different groups.